Hello and welcome to Unmasking Mum, the podcast. I am your host, Anna Bonasera, a late diagnosed mum of 5 children who are also all neurodivergent. And we are here to talk about all the questions, all the things you've probably typed into Google or ChatGPT, maybe searched on TikTok or Instagram Reels, maybe even Facebook, who knows, of what you want to know. And if there is a question that you've got that I have not yet answered, I want to know. So please get in touch, email, DM, whatever you feel is best. Now, today we're going to talk about confidence. And I am not going to lie, I not had much sleep. And I have just kind of went on a bit of a hyperfocus and a bit of a tangent, as we do as ADHDers, on looking at the timeline of different place where I have become more confident. And I've stopped myself because I feel like if I keep going, I will not have time then to record this because I've literally spent half an hour already when I wanted to get in and record straight away. But anyway, I've done some preparation. I wanted to get some dates right, some a bit murky, but I wanted to talk about how my confidence in myself has grown and the things I've done, because I've done some pretty out there things and I'd love to get back to doing stuff like this again. So let's dive in. So, as probably a lot of you as well have maybe struggled with body image, and this is where my story really kind of goes with my confidence. This is the type of confidence we're talking about today. There are lots of different types of confidence to talk about, but this is what we're going to discuss, is my confidence journey with my body. And I could go more into it. And if you do have more questions about it, please do let me know. But I will do my best to go over what I can. So after I had my children very young, I had Nathaniel. I found out I was pregnant at 19. That's the story. I had him at 20. And then I fell pregnant with the twins not long after, and had them before my 22nd birthday. So I was 21 and turned 22 in the May, and they were born in the January. So I was a very young mum. Now, after having Nathaniel, my body it went back to happy, like a happy medium. Like, it wasn't like I was before, but it was like I was okay. I was fine. With the twins, obviously, having twins, stretching your stomach out, and then having a C-section as well meant then I had a lot of excess skin, and I had what you call the apron. And obviously I was only 21, 22 and separated from the boy's dad not long after the twins were born. And being a single mum to 3 children really does mess with your mind about the idea of will men ever be interested in me? What's it called? Where you shadow forward, throw forward. I can't remember what the word is now. My brain is so tired. But it ends happy because I do. And that's a whole other story, talking about being a single mum and finding my husband. So I really struggled with the idea of losing weight. And after having the twins, I was in a really negative state of mind. I don't want to go too much into the diet culture stuff. And again, I can talk more about that if you want to. But I went on a really stupid, silly diet where I was literally eating dust and calling it food not long after they're born. And yeah, not good. Then I found something that was a lot more healthier, but I became really obsessed. And now I know that I'm ADHD, I see what. And I look back now on that place, and sometimes I'm like, was I actually better off being that obsessed with how much I ate, how much I exercise? And then I'm like, no. I mean, I definitely don't exercise enough now, and I definitely don't eat as healthy as I used to. But I'm really trying to get back into that now that other areas of my life are a bit calmer. So I kind of went through that whole dieting journey. I lost a lot of weight. I look very skinny. I then had lots of extra saggy skin. I had no boobs at all. So although I had lost weight, I still wasn't fully confident with how I looked. I even trained as a fitness instructor. That just makes me laugh. I started a nutrition course, but the company went bankrupt. So I didn't finish it in time, obviously, before it went bankrupt. So yeah, proper hyperfocus, special interest, ADHD style. So during this kind of journey when I was doing the fitness instructor, and I had relaxed a little bit on what I was eating and stuff, but I went through periods of time where I just didn't drink and I was really focused. I did a half marathon, which I hate running. My friend challenged me to do it and I did it, and it was really great. And I can't remember what I got, but I actually got a really good time for what I was seeing, as I hadn't done a really long run to practice. I did really well. I feel like it was like, I can't remember. I don't want to say a time and then it sounds rubbish. Like, I don't even know what a good time is for a half marathon. But yeah, I was proud at the time. I was really happy, chuffed in Reading as well, and which is lots of hills. But yeah, I was very much in my fitness era. And I do miss that. I do miss not the running. I miss doing all the weights and stuff. So I really want to get back to that kind of that, but in a healthy, not obsessive way. So, but I still wasn't like in love with my body. Okay. And then I went through dating on and off. I was really like, yeah, lots of first dates, not many second dates. Very funny stories. If you've been around for long, I used to write a blog about my dates until I met my husband, who's amazing. And we then had Spencer. So I gave birth to him in 2018 and something just changed. I was bigger than I'd ever been before. But I just felt so accepting of my body. And I don't know if it came with age. I don't know if it came with, I honestly, I just remember driving and just being like, wow, yeah, I'm really thankful for my body. And I was like, oh. And then those thoughts continued. And then that journey, that self-love journey grew and grew and grew. And it's what then became my next hyperfocus special interest. I then started a free group called Self-Love Detox, which kind of became like my brand. And we had like this amazing community and people were in there. We were doing challenges together. It was so much fun. And then I kind of turned to do like some confidence coaching through it. And I need to go backwards. I've forgotten stuff. Sorry, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. My cat is now threatening to jump out of the window. Sorry, guys. So I'm going backwards. So I started the self-love detox, okay? But I hadn't done loads with it by this point. And I went to a retreat with Mums in Biz Association in March. Nope, I need to go back. I helped to organise a catwalk. I can't remember which one of us came up with the idea of it. I can't remember how we got there. But anyway, I helped to organise a body confidence catwalk at the Mums in Biz Association Awards with the two ladies who were running it at the time. And we had like a group of girls and women of all different shapes and sizes and colours, and we modelled popsy dresses, a t-shirt, I think. Yes. Oh yeah, we all had t-shirts with like words on them, like empowering words. Oh, so many have memories. And then we modelled in underwear, MD. Yeah, so we modelled in underwear. We walked down the catwalk in underwear. It was crazy. That was after having Spencer as well. And that kind of like grew, and then opportunities came from there. But then after that, not long after, in the May, that was March, we then had a retreat, and I went feeling like I hadn't done much. Like I really felt like everyone had these, like, because I went to the one the year before. I mean, I'd had a baby. That's the thing I'd had a year of having Spencer. And I felt like almost like, I guess, a maternity leave I didn't get bloody paid for. And I just felt like I needed to come back the next year with something, and something big. And it was like proper, like, kick up the bum motivation, like sparked the dopamine of like wanting to prove myself and wanted to do something. So I then at the retreat, there was a lady called Cassie who was doing a talk on books and had a book workshop. It was like a 30-day thing. Like, I can't remember what it was, but like, yeah, some kind of coaching, mentoring in a group kind of capacity. And by the end of the 30 days, I had written 25. My aim was to write 500 words a day. And most days I did more. And I look back and I don't know how I did this, because at the same time, we were going through a really hard time with our family, and my twins just weren't sleeping, and my mental health was on the floor. Honestly, I look back and I'm like, whoa, how did I write that? I can't write now. Like, I can write, but I can't stick to it like that. It is mad. The commitment I had, the sheer drive. God, I wish I could have that again, honestly. I've been trying to write another book for like 2 years, and I can't get to a finished product. But I guess it's because I had a really clear structure. I had like a really clear goal. And I think the not having any sleep, like, I'm not just talking about like waking up at 4 a.m. I'm talking like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. And when it's twins as well, it's not like you can just about my twins, they wouldn't just sit in bed with me. It was like I was feeding Spencer, then I was getting up and going downstairs with the twins so I didn't wake everyone else up. It was like, yeah, rock bottom, hit the floor, torturous sleep deprivation. And yeah, by the end of the year, I was trying to get help from the NHS, failed. That's a different story. I've talked about that a lot before. And luckily pulled myself back up. But anyway, so I wrote this book, Stretched, A Mother's Journey to Love Her Flaws and How You Can Too. Is that a bit cringe? I will not read it back because God knows what I sound like. I definitely did the very ADHD thing of not editing it. I had someone edit it for me, but I didn't like read it back and rewrite it. I probably would rewrite the whole thing if I read it again, so I'm not going to. But having that book really made me feel like I'd accomplished something. And by the September, I did a launch. I had loads of copies that I signed and sent off, and it was so lovely. And it was a brilliant. I love it, and I'm so proud of it at the time. And I proper dove into body positivity. All my Instagram feed was all the body positivity people. I was just like reading all the books, listening to the audio, YouTubes, all of the things, podcasts. Literally, my whole life was about body positivity. Obviously, that's in 2019, and we're now in 2025. No, we're not. We're in 2026. And all of that work has still made such a big, honestly, I feel about my body. If I'd gone on that journey, I think I would be yo-yo dieting. I'd probably have been on the injections. I'd have probably, done all the things, all the, hacks that they have out there. But thank God for that journey, because I literally couldn't give a shit what I look like. No, that's not true. That's not true, because I still get self-conscious about my stomach, especially like sometimes like when I'm wearing like a shorter top and like my trousers aren't like sucky in ones, I do get a bit like, oh, my mum dumb. So, we're only human. But mostly it would be so much worse, and it was growing up as well. So I'm very thankful for that journey and giving me that confidence. But also within that year, so I went to the retreat in the May and started writing my book. And by the end of the May, I ran a 10K in London with a group of women called Celebrate You in my underwear. I went all the way to London on my own on the train, met no one there apart from the people who were also doing it. I didn't know anyone. That gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Literally, obviously I didn't go in underwear. I wore clothes, and then I took it off and had my underwear. And I still got it. There was like some pants that everyone get, like runners pants you could get, and it have something print on the back, and I put Queen on the back. What good times. And also at that time, I then did a collaboration with two amazing ladies, and we created Love Thy Body Project. So from that, we then did, I was trying to work out how many books, at least 3, if not 4 books, collaborations filled with women who went on their own self-love journeys. And it was incredible. And so many lives were changed doing that. And I had so much fun. And then we had lockdown, and things just changed at that point for everyone, right? We were all online. Luckily, we did get the twins special sleep beds. So sleep was a lot better, but I had them home with me 24/7. Apart from the twins did have a couple of days at school a week. But it was very, very overwhelming and daunting, and obviously scary time. It was a scary time for us all, right? Didn't know what was going on, what was happening. We didn't know that, down the street were having parties when we're like worrying about mixing our mum over the fence for a few minutes. But anyway, move on from that. Not that we're bitter or anything. A self-love detox moved in a different way. Actually, to be fair, before that, I really started on this journey at the beginning of 2020, before lockdown happened, because I wanted to create what I called statement tees and sweatshirts. So they were bright, beautiful, colourful statement t-shirts and jumpers and hoodies, but they had like body confidence, powering statements on them. And I started on that journey. It's like kind of, evolved. I didn't want to be doing coaching because I just didn't have the capacity to do that when I had the kids home. But I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just start making t-shirts and jumpers instead, because I got all the time for that. But it kept I guess the same thing with the sleep and writing the book is it kept me busy and it kept me focused and it gave me a purpose. But like, if I didn't have that purpose, my mental health would have declined a lot quicker. And it would have been like another year where I felt like I hadn't done anything. And so when we were in lockdown, I started making the t-shirts and the jumpers, and I loved it so much. And I would like get so creative and use like my body confidence stuff. So I do like transitions of like, loving your flaws and stuff. And it was brilliant. It was lovely. The community grew, and people within the community were buying it and sharing, and I loved it so much. But it got overwhelming trying to do all of that from home, from my bedroom, with all the boys. And I took a bit of a break then. That was in 2022. So I did it for a while. Is that 22? Yeah. So I took a break the beginning of 22. So I'd been doing it for like almost 2 years. Yeah, almost 2 years. And my dad then died during the break. And my dad used to be the person who would take the parcels for me to the post office. I can't go. I hate going to the post office. I do it, but I hate it so much. I hate dropping parcels off. And I just never came back to it. It's really sad actually thinking about it. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But I never came back to it then. I love doing it. I found it overwhelming. And now I would love to like do stuff with ADHD stuff. I really want some stuff, but it's just daunting going back to it all. And yeah, I would love something that's hands off. So if you know of anything that's hands off that can just print it and send it off and do all the things and I could just wear them, then I'd love that. And like hook me up, let me know. It was so much fun. I had so much fun doing it. But doing everything, the control freak in me of having to do everything, but also not being able to do some of it because of my brain, really burnt me out. I feel like this actually hasn't been showing you more about the confidence, and it's more about all the random little like businesses and brands I've set up from like 2018 to now. But when you look back at all of those things, like I feel like ADHD, people always say ADHD is a superpower, and I disagree a lot of the times. But actually, when I look back at that, the fact that I was all in. I was all in on body positivity and increasing my confidence. And that was a healthy thing. It was healthy. And it wasn't like I then overate. I did do a lot of emotional eating during lockdown. And after, I did put on weight, but that's not necessarily because of the body positivity stuff. That was because of lockdown and the repercussions of that and all the rest of life. But it's really helped me when I have put that weight on to not punish myself, to still have confidence, wear colours, be myself. And although obviously not all the time, but having that hyper focus, that mission, that purpose, that pure passion of helping other people has had a massive positive knock-on effect now, like 6-7 years on, and I still reap the rewards of having that hyper focus. So hyper focus isn't all bad, guys. It's not all bad. So basically all I'm saying is you need a hyper focus in body positivity and confidence, and then you'll be cured of all the negative thoughts you have in your brain of how you look and how you feel about yourself. Just joking. Of course, that's not going to happen. It is a slow journey. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like, we want that instant gratification of losing weight overnight, of feeling amazing overnight. We want that Amazon Prime lifestyle, but it doesn't happen. And that's what's really hard for ADHD brain, is to stay the course, to finish and see the end result. So what I would suggest is, if you are someone who really struggles with your confidence, is look at your life, because there will be some areas in your life where you are confident. Because confidence isn't just one whole thing you have. You can be confident in something and not in others. So I was confident within my body. And if somebody left a comment on my body on Instagram, it wouldn't bother me. However, I had trolling when it came to my parenting. Someone mistook something. They didn't see my anxiety and they just thought I was being rude about taking my children out. And that made me stop posting on Facebook altogether. And I stopped doing reels and I stopped sharing for a long time. And so I wasn't, I guess, 100% confident in my mental health or my parenting, or what, do you see what I mean? But different things have a different level of confidence to whether you can take on the negative talk, whether it's from other people, whether it's from what you perceive other people say, or what you create in your brain, what you tell yourself. So yeah, I'm going to write that down. I hope that little deep dive going back into kind of my confidence journey and how we got here today has been interesting. If not educational, at least hopefully it's been a giggle. And also, I was actually also recorded for BBC on their website, and I was trying to find it and I can't. So I wonder whether they got rid of it. That's rubbish, isn't it? But that was a really fun experience as well. If you do want to get Stretch, it is available on Amazon. Please bear in mind it was 7 years ago and my writing is better now. If confidence, and confidence particularly within your ADHD, is something you really want to work on, then get in touch, because I'm just starting to put together an experience of in a group style where we can harness this energy, create this confidence in yourself. I see so many people say that they think they've got ADHD, but they are afraid to say it to other people because they don't want the backlash. They don't want other people saying that, oh, everyone's got ADHD these days, and all that jazz. And I want to be able to help them, you, everyone, go out in the world and advocate for themselves and say, I have ADHD. Not everyone has ADHD around me. Be able to say what it is you struggle with, your challenges, and then ask for the accommodation. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in and you want to talk to me, let's go. Let's go. And yeah, I'd love to chat to you about it. I'm working more on it now behind the scenes. I will be talking about it more online, but if you want to hear more right now, you've got the inside scoop. So send me a message. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this, please do share it. Please do follow. Please comment. All the things. Tag a friend who maybe needs to hear this today or tomorrow or the next day or any time in the future. I'm your host, Bonasera, and you've been listening to Unmasking Mum, the podcast, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.